Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be coding up a brand new AI automation agency website for myself using a brand new tool, Bolt.New. It's getting a lot of attention right now. I'm going to code up the whole thing. All of that is free. The only step that is going to cost me anything is Bolt.New. And the reason is because I hit a rate limit today building the website, and I'm going to upgrade it just for the purposes of this video to finish creating this website. I got this idea from watching Nick Sarayev's recent video, a fantastic video, an awesome YouTube channel. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Nick. If you're not subscribed to Nick's channel, I highly suggest it. He's fantastic at getting across his point and articulating a ton of information very quickly and very succinctly. I really appreciate Nick's channel. I think you'll like it. Check it out. So, within a few prompts, I was able to build this agency website for myself. Modern, fast website built on a website framework called Astro. You can see in the back end here all the files available for use, and you can edit them yourself if you want to. In the preview panel, you can see the website right here. It's got these nice gradients, animations, gradient text, sections for my new agency. So my goal here is to build a one-page website because for me, for this type of agency project, I don't need a ton of different pages. I just want one page that includes all the information somebody needs to get started with me, including testimonials, services, pricing. Just using the free plan of Bolt, I was able to get what you see right in front of you, just with a few prompt messages, a few basics, telling the system what I want. And I really love it so far. It's basically exactly what I wanted. You can even see this nav bar here. It's got the rounded float. I probably need to fix it a little bit, but I asked it to fix the nav bar and to give me this kind of a style, and it did it right away. It understood exactly what I wanted, but I hit a snag. So when I went to deploy this application to see if I could get it up in GitHub, I hit a rate limit. So I need to upgrade to keep chatting with the project. So I'm going to do that for the purposes of this video. And the cost for, I believe this is probably all I'm going to need for the month. It's $20. I get 10 million tokens. I'm going to do that right now. And then I'm going to come back into this video and we're going to step by step finish my agency website. All right, I've upgraded my subscription. As you can see, I've already even given it a prompt. So I had to delete a video that I made where I actually showed this happen, but I want to just show you really quick. Previously, the nav bar was a little bit crunched. So I told it the floating nav bar is not big enough and it's squishing together into the nav items. Can you increase the size? This took about 10 seconds. And in one prompt, fix the nav bar so that it displays evenly across the desktop. Now, I'm also aware that I haven't shown you my original prompts that I used just to get to this point with this website. So I'm going to copy them. I'm going to display them right here on the video. So if you want to pause the video when it displays, when it overlays here, do that and you'll see the original prompts that I used to get to this point. The next thing that I'm going to do, because I don't have a name yet for my agency, is I'm going to use ChatGPT actually to help me figure out a good name. I'm going to buy the domain and then we'll come back in here and we'll update the code and with the name of the agency. Okay, so I fired up trusty old ChatGPT 4.0 with Canvas and I asked it, can you help me come up with some cool and catchy names for an AI automation agency? I got a lot of stuff here. Neuralworks, Synapse Systems, Bytecraft, Flowlytics. I didn't really love any of these, but they felt like they were on the right track. I especially sort of liked Augmenta. Some of these almost had a culty kind of a sound to them. Orium, AI. Can you explore and extrapolate more ideas from these? Neuralworks, Optima. So I pulled out a few that I specifically liked and I asked it to extrapolate more ideas for me. And it gave me a lot of inspired by those specific ones. So, for example, Neural Nexus, Neural Forge, Optimax, Optimines. And what I initially hit on was Optimate because it was sort of a play on optimize and automate, but those domains were taken. So, after a little back and forth, I really hit on this one, augmentis. Kind of a cool sound to it, and it was quite simple. So, I logged into Namecheap. And of course, augmentis.com was taken. But when I selected their marketing TLDs, I found Augmentis Agency for $4.98 per year. So I thought, that's great. I'm going to buy augmentis.agency, and we're going to use that later in this tutorial to connect up the website. Okay, moving on to the next step. All right, so I bought augmentis.agency, and now I'm going to ask Bolt.New to update my new automations as a service agency website with my new branded name. Okay, let's see what Bolt comes up with. As you can see, it's working in the back end to update the code and to update the agency name to Augmentis. So it's rewriting the code right now in the footer, it looks like, as you can see. So let's see. Okay, so check this out. I really like this. It even included the name with the gradients. So, I feel like I could almost get away without even having a nice logo here because it stands out. It doesn't I don't feel like we need to have a home button here and the Augmentis name right here. That could maybe just be hyperlinked to home. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm just going to tell Bolt there's no need for a home button. And the Augmentis label in the nav. Just have one and use the... Okay, now I need to be more specific than that. Delete the home button in the nav and only include the Augmentis button linked to the home. Okay. All right. Let's see if it fixes specifically what I'm asking for. Maybe I was not very clear, and I think that is one of the most important parts. But in fact, it looks like they did. So, for example, if I'm down here on the How It Works section, I can now just click the Augmentis button. I've gotten rid of the Home button because it was redundant, and I have a much cleaner, simpler nav bar. Next, I have a couple more quick things I would like to update with the website. For one, I don't really like get started. I want to have the button call to action be book an intro call. And then I want to add more of these call to action buttons throughout the site, throughout the page, in relevant sections. Okay, so Bolt's getting started, updating and changing the code. Right now, currently working on the hero section. As you can see, the How It Works section now. Rewriting that code. I'm going to guess it's going to jump down next to the services section. Pretty fun to watch it in action, actually, just going right through these different files. Yep, now it's on the services section. Okay, back on the previewed homepage, it's changed the call to action to book an intro call. And now, as you can see, we've got a new button here underneath the How It Works section. And it even added a little snippet of text, ready to automate your business processes, book an intro call. Okay, the next thing I don't really love is the fact that these are not symmetrical. So there's only 4, so it's basically in a 3-column layout here, but since there's only 4 services, one is left alone here. So I'm going to tell Bolt to help me fix that. Okay, so he's updating the Our Services section. And check that out with just a single simple prompt. We got a much nicer looking, more symmetrical looking Our Services section. And now I think this call to action looks better too because it's positioned beneath this area and it just is more pleasing to the eye. Okay, so one thing I asked the system to do was to make sure it was mobile responsive because honestly, at this stage, I don't even know how to check that. And it optimized all these sections, added a proper mobile menu with hamburger button, improved touch targets, better responsive typography using something called Clamp. I don't know what that is. Optimized buttons, smooth scrolling, improved container padding on mobile, prevented horizontals. So it did a lot. So it went through 10 steps basically to improve the site on mobile. I'm happy with that because it gave me a list of things that I could later check to make sure it did. So one thing I think is missing so far is like a pricing section. Yeah, remember I was sort of inspired by Nick Saryev's recent video, and I went and I checked out his website because he has a similar type of agency and he has a pricing section that I really liked, and I thought this could be a decent test of Bolt.New by taking a screenshot. Can I build something similar to this? So, Nick, if you're watching this, don't worry. I'm not going to rip off your copy. I am going to use this as inspiration in this video, and I'll make sure to change everything. Of course, I will have my own packages and all of that at the end of the day, but I really like your website, man. So I'm going to basically try to use this as design inspiration for Bolt. Back in Bolt.New, I've uploaded that screenshot I took of Nick's agency, and I'm asking Bolt, I want to add a pricing section, take the uploaded image of a similar agency's pricing area, and design something similar with 3 pricing packages. Maintain the augmentis agency branding style and design language. Okay, so let's see what Bolt.New can come up with. At this stage, I am really, really impressed. I think this is probably the coolest thing that it's built so far. I now have a very nice looking pricing section with the copy that I think is great. I wouldn't even update this. Simple, transparent pricing. Choose the plan that best fits your business needs. Most popular, an enterprise solution, a starter solution, and call to action buttons, with this one really standing out. So I think the only thing that it failed to do on its own was to add a link to it in the nav, which obviously will be really easy to fix. Please add a pricing link in the nav bar and delete the features link because I don't know what that is. Now that that's done, I've asked it to update the footer information as that was all placeholder. Running that code right now. I gave it a simple prompt, update the footer information. I gave it my phone number, my X account, etc. And as you can see, it did that perfectly. I have no complaints. It even added this copyright information for Augmentis, sam@samrexford.com, my phone number, my Twitter account. I love these buttons, the way that they look, the design. It got the correct URLs for LinkedIn and for YouTube. Okay, I paused the video and I did a little bit of exploring because I wanted to figure out how to see it in mobile. So I found this little link up here, open in StackBlitz, basically a whole backend here on stackblitz.com, which is, I believe, the company that created Bolt.New, as you can see down here. And it contains all the files, and I guess this is probably where you push it out to GitHub. But after a little bit of playing around, I was able to, you can open up a preview of the website or you can open it up in a new tab. So what I did was I opened it up in a new tab and you can see the website and you can change it here to mobile, for example. So I think it looks pretty great out of the box, honestly, as a mobile preview. If you look at the website overall, this is how it will look displayed on the web once I get it live on GitHub and Cloudflare. It's one of my favorite websites, honestly, that I've ever made. I still only have a few things left to do, probably back in the back end of Bolt.New. Okay, I've cleaned up a few things on my new website. For example, I've added links to all the call to action buttons, so it now goes to my cadlindley.com link. And that was really quick. One prompt, gave it the link, and it updated everything. I made a couple little fixes throughout the copy, but overall, I think it's good enough to launch live. I'm going to move on to the next stage, getting it hooked up to my new augmentis.agency website. So let's move on to that next step now. Okay, I'm at the stage now where with Bolt, where I actually feel like I'm really in over my head. I have no idea what's going on, and really it's the AI that's running the show. So I clicked on this button up here, deploy, just to see what would happen. Boy, did that send me down a rabbit hole. So immediately Bolt started doing something like deploying it to something called Netlify. I have no idea really what that is. I have bumped into that service before in the past, but technically it was way beyond me. I have no idea what it is. It started running it, and I told it to stop because my idea was just to get it up in GitHub. So I asked it, can I deploy all this code to GitHub and just use Cloudflare as the DNS provider? There's no real native environment to do that in here. So what you can do is you can download the project files, or you can continue using Netlify, which we've already deployed. And at this point, I'm like, what do you mean? I have no idea what's going on, right? And then you can use Cloudflare. So I asked it if Netlify was free, and it said, well, yeah, actually, there's a generous plan, right? It's free, unlimited personal projects, continuous deployment to Git. Okay, that's when I started getting excited. At this point, though, I don't even know what's the difference, right? Why do I need both of these things? I have no idea. I'm just not technical enough for this stuff. But it gave me a list of all the benefits, and it gave me a list of what the free tier included. Let's continue with Netlify. Do I need a login? Said, yes, you'll need a Netlify account to deploy your site. So I went and I created one, and it is free. So you can just go to Netlify and you can create a free account. But in the meantime, I told it to proceed, and it gave me a deployment, and it just immediately deployed on the back end to Netlify. It's got some kind of connection there. And what it will do is it will actually give you this link that will import your project. But in the meantime, it gave me a staging site right here. You can see it. So if I click onto that, boom, there's my website, right? So it's live on the web right now on a staging site. And I just think that's amazing because I didn't even have to do anything for that. So I set up my Netlify account, and let's see here. Let's get in there. You can see it here. You can see there's the staging site. It had already been pushed in the back end by Bolt. I'm just going to follow the steps here on Netlify. And all I have to do next is set up a custom domain and secure the site with HTTPS with Let's Encrypt, which is typically a free certificate. So let me try to set that up on my own. And clicking that button will lead me to this. Add a custom domain to your site. So I'm going to add my domain here. So I've added that, and I'm just going to click on verify. I don't know exactly what that's going to do. So I got a notice here when I clicked add to verify that it was already registered. Of course, I'm the one that registered that. And so it's telling me that I need to add this domain to add it to your site. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go with setup Netlify DNS. Like I said, I'm a little confused at this point, but I did find some Netlify DNS name servers. There's 4 of them. I'm used to there usually being 2. So I went back into Namecheap, where I have everything registered, and I added these 4 name servers. It looks like in the meantime that it's working as far as the DNS goes. So I've got some green check marks here, and it says it's ready to provide an SSL certificate. So I'm just going to click provision certificate. However, I immediately hit a snag where it says the DNS verification failed. About 10 seconds later, actually, it looks like this is already working. I'm not really sure why I would need to provision a new HTTP. So let's just see here, open a new tab. And I've got the certificate. The site is live right now. And there you have it. Augmentis.agency is live. And while I need a lot of work probably to clean it up and to feel like it's something I could actually market and send around to people, I would say that overall, my experience with Bolt.New and building an agency website in this way without using WordPress was a really positive, awesome experience for me. So you can see my site live here at augmentis.agency. See if you can see that. Um, Everything is working. It's got nice, smooth transitions. There's a link out to my calendar. It looks fantastic on mobile. And overall, it's pretty great. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Whatever rabbit hole I fall down next, I'll take you guys along with me. All right, take care.